The ANC today expected to head to the Electoral Court in Bloemfontein to challenge the registration of the Umkhonto Wesizwe party. The ANC argues that there were procedural flaws in the way that the party was registered by the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer, that's Mawethu Mozri. It says the MK party was supposed to launch a fresh application and not supplement its original one, which was rejected by Mozri. Now, this could have the implication on whether or not the MK party can contest this year's elections. Let's get you a sense of what else to expect. Bring in our reporter on the ground, Kenny Mapanga, part of our team watching developments from Bloemfontein. She joins us now live. And of course, there's great anticipation to see how all of this will go, Kenny, because of what's being said about both organizations. But when it comes to just the procedural steps that are said to be taken in court today, what do we know about how things are likely to unfold?
Well, good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. I was hoping to balance out the earlier interview we did with the ANC with some members of the MK that are expected to come. We expected the top brass of that newly formed political party to show up today. However, we will give you that as soon as they arrive. However, as you've correctly stated, Ayanda, this is a review application in terms of the registration of Umkhonto Wesizwe by the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer of the IEC, a decision confirmed by the IEC. We know that that journey started in June last year when Jabulani Khumalo first made that application. He received that assistance from the IEC, and by the 1st of September, that decision was made final by the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer that this party had been registered, and we understand that they have met all the submissions, and we expect that this political party will contest the 2024 general elections. However, this matter must be clarified as well as another pending issue on the copyright or the use of the name Umkhonto Wesizwe and the logo. So what you can expect is that there will be arguments from the applicant, that is the ANC represented by Advocate Ramukhale, as well as the first and second respondent being the IEC and the Chief Electoral Officer. They will be represented by Advocate Terry Mutau. And then the third respondent is the MK party, which will be represented by Advocate Dalimpofu SC. So it would be in that order that they will be making submissions regarding this review application. We know that the ANC will center their application on the August 2023 letter that was written by the IEC to Umkhonto Wesizwe to inform it that it was not in full compliance with the requirements to register it as a political party. So now the ANC will use that letter and call it a rejection letter. It is their interpretation that on that date, the Umkhonto Wesizwe political party was supposed to make a fresh application to the IEC to be registered, not to supplement what they had already submitted to the IEC and had already been decided on. Now we know from the MK and the IEC they have similar arguments in this regard, and that they will reject this interpretation of it being a rejection letter, but rather the IEC, following its constitutional mandate of the right to form a political party and to participate in the 2024 general elections. It's a constitutional mandate that they should assist those political parties where there are discrepancies and flaws in their applications so that they can reach that final determination by the IEC on whether or not they'll be registered as a political party and if they're fully in compliance with the requirements in order to contest elections.
Absolutely. I mean, depending who you ask, there's a relative amount of urgency to this particular case, notwithstanding because we are in an election period, so to speak. Do we know how long the Electoral Court typically takes to make a decision on matters like this?
Well, as you've correctly stated, Ayanda, the IEC or the ANC rather is arguing that this is an urgent matter, and we know that elections will be held on the 29th of May, but the Electoral Court is a specialist court. It has an exclusive jurisdiction over matters over this nature, so we know that they deal specifically with these type of matters, and it shouldn't take long for them to make a determination, as they have to deal with these kind of electoral disputes in periods of this nature. Now, I'm going to quickly give you a pan of this venue. I know that the MK lawyers have arrived. That is Advocate Dalimpofu making his way into the court. He is accompanied by Advocate Moses Sikakane SC. We understand that they will be representing the MK party in this bid to have the registration of the MK party validated. That is Advocate Dalimpofu, who will be leading the council in this regard. I doubt, Ayanda, that we will be getting any comment from him at this stage. As you know, council doesn't speak on pending matters, but the the ANC and the IEC, as well as the MK, will be facing off over this contentious issue of the registration of Umkhonto Wesizwe, a newly formed political party that has been endorsed by ANC member and former ANC President Jacob Zuma, and has been making some inroads in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which is seen to be the political battlefield for the 2024 general elections. Now, we expect that those proceedings will be starting at 9:30 a.m. this morning. As you can see, it's quite cordial here in the quad of the Electoral Court of South Africa. However, you can expect when those proceedings start that those three parties will face off on this issue of the registration of Umkhonto Wesizwe, with the MK planning to argue that their registration is valid and that it is an erroneous interpretation to take a letter in which the IEC was attempting to assist Umkhonto Wesizwe, as it would with any other political party, to register for a political party and take such a letter and use it as a rejection instead of the IEC following its constitutional mandate to register Umkhonto Wesizwe as a political party. If I ask my colleague, Mr. Rapakwana, to further pan towards the left, you can then see the security of former President Jacob Zuma lined up there by the door. So that is confirmation that we know that he will be in attendance this morning for those proceedings that are expected to be starting place at 9:30. It's going to be quite a packed court this morning. The top brass of the MK as well as the top brass of the ANC, in a very important matter that has quite serious implications. Because essentially what the ANC is trying to do is invalidate that particular registration of Umkhonto Wesizwe. And we know that the deadline was March 8th for political parties to make their submissions in order to appear on that 2024 ballot. So now if they've invalidated that September 1 decision, well, one can expect that the implications would be that we wouldn't see the MK party on that 2024 ballot, which could have serious implications, as members of the MK have already issued out subtle threats that if they are not allowed to contest elections, the 2024 hotly contested general elections, there will be violence on the streets. Over to you in studio.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, some of those threats, Kenny, were not subtle at all. They were quite explicit, at least if the youth wing of the party in Gauteng's comments are anything to go by. But we'll allow you to get a sense of what else is likely to unfold there in Bloemfontein. Kenny Mapanga, part of our team at the Electoral Court in Bloemfontein. As soon as proceedings, of course, begin, we'll be inside court for you, get you a sense of the nature of the arguments that are made, and more importantly, what the decision is likely to be.